What is up, winning team? I'm here to say that it's time for us to change gears, okay? Because as you all know, it's late, by the way, guys, but I had to do this now because I like to share things with you guys as soon as possible. Because knowing me and the Lord, listen, we just keep moving. It doesn't stop. You just always move. Like I say, it's like with entropy. If you're in the kingdom of darkness, you're consistently moving closer to chaos. If you're the kingdom of heaven, you're moving consistently closer to order. And like, there's no such thing as being static. That's why when people are like, oh, I don't believe in anything, or oh, I don't know, I'm like, or like lukewarm Christians, it's like, you can't just be in the middle. You've got to be going in a direction. That's not how it works. It's not how the laws of the universe work, my friend. Look at the science. Talked about it on the channel. Anyways, you guys, I've had a horrific few days, to say the least. And that's mainly just because like the last couple of weeks, I'm going somewhere with all of this, but like the last couple of weeks, I've just been feeling like, what is the freaking point? And I think I've kind of made that clear, where I'm like, I've been going through, hold on a minute, sorry, I'm just adjusting this thing here so I can make sure I'm tracking what's happening. I've just been going through it, and like yesterday, or was it? Yeah, yesterday now. Oh, it's now the 1st of December, which doesn't surprise me. I'm always stressed and having humbling experiences in November. The last 3 years, I told you every month is the exact same. And so I've been trying to dig deep to like, God, please give me something for December, like to focus on, because obviously you're taking your time. No, he's not taking his time. It's taking a lot of time for the things I'm waiting on. And I'm just I'm bored in the house, bored in the house, bored in the bored in the house, bored in the house, bored of being amongst the world. And like, there's nothing that I wanted to do. Like, I thought about like, should I just start a new business? Nah. Do I want to go into a different career? Nah. Am I interested in relationships really? Kind of. Started to entertain, I've got a few friends now, and I feel like I've got enough of that to deal with, to get good at. I'm not even at the place where I'm the friend that I want to be to those people. So the people that I have now, I'm like, we're good. We've got enough there. And then I also was just bored. I was just feeling so uninspired. I wasn't feeling inspired to write anything. I just didn't want to do anything. Like, that's what I've been saying to the Lord. And so I've been going back and forth, like, God, what do we do? Like, and the humbling lesson that I came down to in the end, that is, of course, at the end of the day, guess who's the one in the way of everything? This girl. And it's because of stuff I've been telling you guys about. And it's so weird because like, sometimes even if God isn't saying things directly to me, I can sense what he's doing. And because I can sense what he's doing, I then respond as if like, oh no. Like I remember when I knew that friends were coming, I could just feel it. And I was like, God, please don't make me have to do this. I was like begging him, like, please don't make me have to do this. And, I went through it, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And now I realized that, my number one issue that I've been having, and I've talked about it at length, is that I don't want to have to deal with the fallout of just shining again. Because I feel like what I realize now is, obviously, when I was a teenager, because I've been trying to work out what was so different about me at 16 versus now. Why was I so driven? Why was I so focused? Why did I wake up every day and I was like just ready to take life by the balls, And now I just don't care. And I realized this because I'm looking at the cons. And the thing is, I live in a world where people are like, yeah, but there's always positives. But then I'm living in a world that's mostly losers. So I'm like, you don't really know what I'm talking about because you're not used to winning the way I am. You're not used to the backlash. So a lot of the things I've been experiencing, and I'm sure the same is for you guys, is how you ended up here. It's like, I've ended up in these positions, like little things. Like this girl was, I saw this girl made a video, right? This is what I was trying to sleep, and I was watching random videos to try and get my mind off of everything. And they ended up keeping me up because they're talking about interesting things. So this girl was talking about how she looked into the real reasons why a lot of women like don't make friends, right? Which I'm going to do a whole thing about this because I've decided to embark on a project of something that I kind of wanted to do, but I really have been avoiding doing. In the same way I didn't want to talk about men and women, in the same way I didn't want to have to put my face on YouTube, in the same way I didn't want to have to sing, in the same way I didn't want to have to get on airplanes. Like, so it's like, it's everyday conquering fears with the Lord. But anyway, and so yeah, she was talking about it, and one of the things she said, she was like, there's this misconception, this misunderstanding. Oh, actually, it wasn't her, it was somebody else. There's misunderstanding that like if you struggle to have friends, that you're the common denominator. But then she said something that was so profound to me. She was like, but what if there is a common denominator, but you just haven't noticed what that common denominator is? And I was like, and she kept saying things like, you might cause the problem, but that doesn't mean you're the problem. And I was just like, hold on. Because I then realized that the actual common denominator, right, especially when it comes to the backlash I've experienced with others, is that they are losers. That's the common denominator. I'm dealing with losers, and this is losers mentality. This is how they behave. They rise up against somebody else. They can't just stay in their lane, because one of the things she talked about is when you're a certain type of woman, how you become very naive because you're so busy focusing on yourself. And she literally said in the end, she was like, and the thing is, you may as well just be bold and be out there, because whether you do or whether you shy back, they're still going to be thinking about you anyways. And I was like, well, and that was all I needed to hear, that, listen, there's going to be an element of suffering regardless, right? So am I going to suffer for the sake of shying away just to make because she was saying that like some of us, we hold back because it makes us more comfortable, because when we're not holding back, then the people around us, when we're not holding back, the people around us seem uncomfortable, which makes us uncomfortable, right? So we shy back to make ourselves more comfortable by not offending others. And I was like, you know what? You cooked with that, because that's so true. That's the truth of what I'm like. I don't want to have to deal with the looks, the judgment, the being called obnoxious, the lies behind my back and all this stuff. I don't want to have to deal with that. That's what I've been avoiding. But then it's like, as she pointed out, she was like, but then without you stepping out, like, how are you going to achieve all these things that you want to achieve? The backlash is going to come regardless. And it's so true, because I've been holding back and I've been overthinking everything and all of this, and I'm still miserable anyways. So it's like, I may as well be miserable as a winner. Do you know what I mean? I won't be miserable completely, but like, there's things you just have to deal with when you are the winner, because people are going to be jealous. People are going to be jealous. People are going to look at you as if like you're lucky because whatever, because they don't see the hard work. They don't see the strength that it takes. They couldn't handle it. That's why I notice when I'm around people, they can't really handle my energy, because it's like, if I'm just my natural self, even just like to like 3 degrees, right? It's like they act as if they're in a burning furnace of fire. You know what I mean? They act like I've thrown them into a volcano that is like, you know, erupting with lava. So then that makes me uncomfortable, because I'm like, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, because everybody seems to be so uncomfortable all the time when I'm shining. But I just realized that, hey, that's just how the cookie crumbles. We can't all be at the top. There can only be one. And I always think about that, because that was the music of my last cheer team that I was on. That's exactly how the music started. It would be like, there can only be one. And I love that phrase, because it's so true. There can only be one. So yeah, I'm digging deep. I've got a lot of work to do. And I've kind of got, it's going to be hard for me, because I'm going to have to deal with what I dealt with before. Because like when I was 16, right, obviously when I was 16, it was all cute and fun and games, right? Because I didn't know that these things were going to happen. So all I'm seeing is the positives. But then now, because I'm in recovery from it, all I see is the negatives. And so now it's kind of like, I had to get to the point of like, there's just certain things like that are in my power to actually do that I haven't done. And I haven't done them because I'm fearful of like what will happen. Like, I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys before. I have a fear of going viral. Like, it's a genuine fear. Like, that's why I feel so opposite to others. I've seen people be so, like, I knew of a woman that I was looking at when they were talking to me, because it's one of these people I know from the industry. And she was saying to me about how like, oh, she doesn't know when, you know, she's finally going to have the platform she's always prayed for. And this is again where the Christian element is where I have the unique selling point with a lot of this stuff, because for what I'm thinking of doing, because a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about and a lot of the stuff I'm going to be doing is being done, but it's not being done in the godly way. And that's where I was like, God, I need you to give me something that nobody else is doing. Like, we don't need another young lady, Christian girly vlogging. We don't need another Bible study group, and we don't need another, what is it that I need to do that is not happening? What is the gap? And I feel like that was the gap that I was looking for. So hold on a second. So yeah, I feel like God gave me the gap that I was looking for. And now I feel like, okay, I'm not excited about it, to be honest. I'm gonna have to take some time to really dig deep and like really like walk out in the armor of God. And it all links in with Jezebel as well, and just how Jezebel, she uses certain things, in a demonic way. And it's kind of like it's my job to use the same things in a godly way, because it's like it's the whole thing of mixing the truth. I say, like, the battle isn't between good and evil, it's the truth versus the closest lie. And right now, what's winning in the world is actually the closest lie. The people that are, and especially when it comes to being a woman, because the funny thing is, I do have a desire, like, as much as I talk about men and all this stuff, and obviously I grew up with brothers, I don't think people realize how much I value female relationships, because I've never really had good ones. Like, I've always wanted to have like a friend that I always go to get my nails done with every couple of weeks, or like I always see things I would like to do and never have anybody to do them with. And I value being a woman and femininity so much. So the fact that I've had such bad experiences is heartbreaking for me. And essentially that's what I realized, is that, because one girl said it in a video while I was, again, in pain and unable to sleep and trying to take my mind off of the pain, my physical pain. One girl was like, friendship heartbreaks can be worse than emotional heartbreaks. And I thought, you know what? That's actually exactly true for me. Like, I've had heartbreaks from lots of different heartbreaks. And I actually think of all the heartbreak, because I knew this has been the year of heartbreak for me. I've cried all year because of my heartbreak, and I could never really pinpoint it. But when I think about it, yeah, throughout the entire of my life, every single time I've been in these situations, it's been like female heartbreak after female heartbreak after female heartbreak after female heartbreak. And it's just been like, it's been too much. And I think because I felt always internalized it as like, oh, you're the common denominator. So I always just saw myself as the problem. So that's why I've been shying away from everybody, because I'm like, I don't want to go and corrupt anyone. I don't want to be the problem for anyone. I don't want to cause anybody pain. I don't want to cause anybody stress. So I'll just keep myself away, because clearly I'm the problem, right? And obviously a lot of people, manipulative people, hopped onto that bandwagon to, take advantage of that out of me to get things that they wanted, men or women. Because they're like, look at this poor little defenseless lamb. She's got no self-esteem. She's not got a lot of confidence. And so we're gonna have to switch things up, because, hey, look, my encouragement to you guys is there's going to be new stuff happening. This is one new thing I'm going to start to do, but I'm not going to tell you guys until it's done. But we're gonna have to, and one of these girls was saying, you have to be. It takes a lot of courage to like not repeat the mistakes of those that came before you. And I was like, wow. Like, she was like, I never thought of that as being courageous, like to actually choose to not make the excuse. And that was the confirmation I needed, because I was like, I've been wondering, like, God, in Joshua 1, you say, be strong and courageous. Like, what does that look like? And so now I kind of have a framework in my mind of like, that's why eventually I couldn't sleep, because I was like, now I'm starting to have ideas, and now my brain is ticking with what I want to do, because now I'm starting to like feel like, okay, and if this is all that it's going to take for the Lord to, all the gates of the blessings of the Lord and the promises of God to open, I'm going to get to that stat, you best believe. Anyways, guys, I just had to update you quickly now and just say that, like, yeah, when you're a winner, listen, everybody else is pretty much a hater, and we just got to enjoy it, because guess what? While they're all there, losers, bitter, jealous, doing whatever they're doing, we're going to be having a good time together at the top, right? That's our destiny. So that's why I said we're switching gears. I had these 3 videos of me crying that I was going to upload. And like with me going into my feelings, I'm not going to upload those now. We're going to try. Listen, I'm still going to have my ebbs and flows, my good and bad days, but it's not, as the Bible says, the righteous fall seven times, but they get back up again, right? And like I always say, you know, a winning strategy in life is you haven't failed until you stop trying. So as long as we keep going, I don't know how I'm going to do this, you guys, and I'm honestly scared just because I don't feel like I have the energy. I feel exhausted. I feel tired of the life I've lived. I feel like existing is exhausting. Dealing with the losing team is just takes up so much time, putting up boundaries, having to defend yourself, having to protect everything around you, it's just so much. And then also having this courage to do those things. Because again, this is what one of the girls was saying. She was like, you got to remember, and these are things I know, but it's just I needed to hear them now, which is like, a lot of people, they're just offended that you have the courage to do what they didn't have to, they don't. And that's exactly why they're coming up against you. And that's what losers do. Anyways, you guys, if life's a game, let's play to win. Stay tuned for everything. I love you guys so much. And thank you for being my people, and the people that were not bitter, that were not jealous, that actually were like, hell yeah, let's hop on board and let's actually do this together. Because you guys know that was always my dream. And that's where my heartbreak came from. In every group, every community, whether it be friendships, whether it be the church, whether it be family, I just was always wondering why we couldn't just band together and win together. And I've just had to come to the conclusion that the humbling understanding that some people, they don't have the courage to step up when you are, and you just got to leave them behind, and you just got to let them become the white noise. And you also just got to understand that there's just, they're going to exist. They're going to exist, and they're going to be there, and they're going to make your life more difficult. But if you can ignore that, then what you do become is going to be so much worth shying back or stepping back or dulling down for the sake of them to be more comfortable, because they're not contributing anything beneficial anyway. So why do I care? It's not like these people are contributing positively to society. This is what I'm always complaining about. So anyways, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. If life's a game, let's play to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one.